Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a special predictions video. We got the wild card. Wait a minute, no. It's super wild card weekend here on the channel. I'm joined by three people tonight. Of course, as always, I have Potter with me. Potter, say hello.
Super wild card, what up?
Crusher's with me as well.
Hey!
And for the first time on the channel here, I got Butt Screw with us as well.
How's it going?
So we're going to talk about the games tonight. Real quickly, before we start talking about any of the games, let's talk real quickly about the Sean Payton news. Potter, you want to talk about that real quickly?
So Sean Payton's been, I'm hearing that 3 teams have requested to speak with him. 2 of those teams that I know of being the Cardinals and the Broncos.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Sean Payton. We're going to have to talk a little bit about that because there's something that I got mentioned in the playoffs about one team in general in Pacific, but we'll save that for right now. Yeah, Pacific. Yeah, I can't speak tonight, Crusher.
Well, I was thinking it was more Atlantic, but you know.
Yeah, but
Pacific!
there's one team I got to talk about that with the Sean Payton stuff. But anyways, let's get to our first game tonight as we got the Seattle Seahawks going in the San Fran taking on the San Francisco 49ers. 7th seed versus the 2nd seed. You guys can go ahead and talk about it. I'll just sit here and listen.
Honestly, I'm not going to say much about this game except for San Francisco is beef. And they are going to easily win this game without question. I don't think the Seahawks got it at all. It was supposed to be close, but I still don't think. I'm just not sold.
Crusher, do you agree with this?
Yeah, I can't be sold on the Seahawks either. I'm definitely going to have to take the 49ers.
Okay, Screw, what's your opinion on this game?
I think it could be a close match. Yes, the last time they played, the 49ers did win. But it was a close game. It was only 8 points there. So, you're talking 21-13. Could Seahawks' defense figure it out pretty? Could Geno Smith? I don't know. I'm kind of excited for the Seahawks just because it's Geno time. So, I wouldn't mind see them go a little bit in. I've been a big 49ers fan. But I also think right now how that offense is going for the 49ers, it's going to make it hard on Seattle. And if Seattle plays like they did the last week, it's going to be 49ers all the way. So I think it depends on what Seahawks team comes out that determines the winner on that one, I think.
Screw, your mic is a little choppy right there. If you can fix that just a little bit. But we could hear you understand. We can understand you fine. Just a little bit choppy for some reason. Just so you are aware. All right, I'll talk about this real quickly. The Seahawks have lost both games to the Niners this season. They've lost the one game that Screw just mentioned previously, the 21-13 game that was in Seattle. The game that was in San Fran week 2, the Niners absolutely blew them out, and that was with Trey Lance at quarterback. So you gotta wonder, is this gonna be the same way? Or actually, no, it was Jimmy Garoppolo actually under center. This is the game that I believe Trey Lance got injured then. Interesting. But anyways, like I was just mentioning though, here's the thing. The Niners have beaten the Seahawks twice already this season. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row in the NFL. Can we all agree on that at least?
I can agree with that.
So it's not going to be an easy challenge for the Niners, in my opinion, to beat the Seahawks easily. But I do think they'll come away with the victory. I think this is going to be a close contest. This is a division rival game. As always, division rivals always fight with each other usually. And I just expect the Niners to pull out a close one. And I expect the Seahawks to keep it close.
I believe the Seahawks can keep it close. But I just don't think that they're... You know what I mean, Wolf? They're not ready.
I agree they're not ready, and I don't think they're actually supposed to be here because I think the 7th seed is actually a fraud of a seed. But
as much as Smooth is going to be angry as hell that I said that,
he won't even watch this video. We're all taking the Seahawks, though. Buzzer on Seahawks. Niners, I'm sorry. But we're breaking buzzers on the Niners here. Seahawks are going to be eliminated. Let's just go on to the next game. Screw, can you talk real quick?
Yeah, is it better?
That's
Yep.
way better. Perfect.
Right.
So our next game, we go to Jacksonville. We got the Chargers at the Jaguars. Potter, start us off.
Oh, this is going to be a good game. Honestly, this is, in my opinion, the game to watch of the week. Because this one's really, truly, in my opinion, up in the air. It is anybody's game. The Chargers have played mediocre, in my opinion, all year long. And the Jaguars have just turned it on. If the Jaguars continue to turn it on, I think that they can go to the next round, but I don't think they get farther past that.
Crusher, your statements?
I don't know. It's a tough choice for me. I feel like it's gonna be a close game. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville on this one. I
Alright.
just can't put enough faith in the Chargers yet.
How about you, Screw? What's your opinion on this?
Well, I kind of have to agree with what Potter said. I do believe Jacksonville's going to take the win. They turned it on late, and they've been hot, and I think they just keep it going.
So, my main thing with the Chargers right now is that they completely blew it on Week 18. And what I mean by that is that they started their starters against the Broncos, and then most of their starters got hurt. Mike Williams went down with a torso injury in that game. I believe they also lost some other person that's on IR right now as well. So it's like, what are you doing, Brandon Stanley? You're not trying to, like, you had the 5th seed on lock, and you went out there and tried to actually beat the Broncos for no reason. It's kind of a what the fuck are you doing moment as a head coach. And I just agree with all you guys about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've been lighting it up the end of the season at least. They've been lighting it up. They're on a 5-game winning streak. They beat the Cowboys, one of the playoff teams that are actually going to talk about later. I mean, yeah, I think they're legit the real deal, and I can see the Jaguars pulling out a win against the Chargers. However, I do think the Chargers are a dark horse in the NFL this year because I think they can actually beat Kansas City. I think both these teams can actually beat Kansas City if they actually get the right chance to. And I think we're all
I don't
taking
know
the
how much I agree with that, but
I think they can pull a win out against Kansas City. They can keep it close against Kansas City. I know the Chargers definitely can. They kept it close with Kansas City for the last 2 weeks, or the last 2 games they played each other. Jacksonville, I don't think they've played. Oh no, they played Kansas City. They lost 27-17, 10-point game. I can see both teams pulling out a miracle win against Kansas City if they get the right circumstances. But now, I think.
I mean, any team can pull out a miracle win.
Go on, Screw. You were saying something?
Well, I mean, I agree with you because how many teams have gone from wild card? You go in the division round. That first team has that bye week, and how many times have they came out that first game and lost?
And Andy Reid is known for doing that.
So it's like they have too much of a break and they lose. So I mean, it could happen.
But we're all taking the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're gonna push the button on the Chargers getting eliminated. Let's go on to our next game as we got the Saturday night game. We got the Saturday game is all out of the way. We were on the Sunday morning. At 1 o'clock, we got the Dolphins at the Bills. Before you guys start, the big story coming out from the Dolphins camp is that Tua Tagovailoa is officially out with a concussion for this game, and Skylar Thompson is more than likely the starting quarterback for the Dolphins. Potter, go on and talk about this.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to this game because this is gonna show it. Honestly, the Bills need to turn it on here and show why they're gonna go deep into the postseason. I don't think that Skylar Thompson is going to be able to overcome our defense. I'm taking the Bills to win.
Yeah, I even if the Bills were like poised to lose this game, which obviously they're not, but I would love to see them get a win for DeMar.
That's true. That's another reason for them to win.
Screw, what's your opinion on this?
I think, I mean,
It's going to be the Bills. I think having Tua out's going to hurt the Dolphins too much. But I'll be out on the same instance. The Dolphins, I mean, yeah, they've kept it close since he's been out. But I think the Bills are just going to be too much power on that offense. With the third string backup, that's just asking too much to try to keep up with.
So keep it close, as in like keep it close against the opponents they have without Tua out there. I mean, they kept it close against the Patriots and they beat the Jets for the last 2 weeks. I don't remember when Skylar Thompson actually played besides those 2 games. I think he might have played against the Patriots as well, but I'm not too sure about that. Or against the Jets in week 5, and I believe week 6, I believe as well with Skylar Thompson, because Teddy Bridgewater went down with an injury as well too. But there's a reason why the Bills are favored by 13 points in this game by Vegas. Buffalo's getting very more healthy as the season goes along. Like they started the season off with very much injuries and whatnot. But now you
What
got
is
people.
your English?
What?
Very much injuries.
Very much like with injuries and stuff like that.
Your English is awful in that sentence. But carry on.
Buffalo, they brought back Micah Hyde and Jameis Crowder, who's actually on IR still, and they're actually practicing like this week, which is going to be good signs for Buffalo if they can go forward and actually get back from their injuries, especially Hyde, who was the reason that DeMar Hamlin was even on the field, because DeMar Hamlin was actually a backup for Micah Hyde, and Hyde's injury is the reason why he was out there. And kudos to DeMar Hamlin for actually pulling the team together and whatnot, and like taking over Micah Hyde's position. But if you get your full-time starter back on the field, that's gonna be dangerous for teams going against the Bills moving forward. And like we
I
just
agree
said,
with that statement.
Skylar Thompson has not proved anything to me in the NFL yet. I mean, the Dolphins they don't know how he plays. They don't know what his strengths and weaknesses are, and they're trying to learn just like the Bills are. And I think the Bills are getting an easy time now. I think this game would be a lot more closer if Tua was actually playing, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I think
You're not going
Tua.
to say anything about more closer, Crusher?
What?
You're a jackass.
More closer.
I don't know what he was talking about.
You're not going to say anything about more closer. He just said more closer.
Oh.
I mean, more closer is more better.
Give us all the Bills. Hit the Dolphins down. We're going to squash the fish hunts again. Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo over the Dolphins. By the way, I'm going to say this. If Mike McDaniels is the reason Tua's not playing because he's actually trusting his health, good on you, McDaniels. If he actually can play and he gets past like the protocol and McDaniels like we're not having him play because of that injuries, I'll give McDaniels a thumbs up. But I also heard, this is the team I want to talk about the rumors with, because before like week 18, there was rumors about Tom Brady and Sean Payton going to Miami and replacing Tua and Mike McDaniels. What were you guys' thoughts on that?
Tom Brady, shut up and retire.
I mean, they talked about that before all the stuff happened.
Like, I would have, not for nothing, I would have kind of dug seeing Sean Payton come out of retirement.
As a Dolphin head coach?
I mean, yeah, it would have scared me, legitimately.
I'll be honest with you. The Dolphins, they're kind of just throwing their coaches to the wolves and getting rid of players, and I don't agree with it. That's all I gotta say about that. Let's move on to the next Sunday afternoon game, which is going to be the Giants at the Vikings. Potter, you go first.
Well, I think this is where we see the Vikings for what they truly are, a red herring. I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to beat the Giants in the postseason at all. Give me the Giants to win.
Ew.
Go on, Crusher.
I don't like betting on the Giants because they let me down every time I try to. But yeah, it's possibly an exposition game for the Vikings. Can the Giants expose the Vikings? And if so, are we gonna see it? That's where my thoughts at with that, and I'm still gonna take the Vikings, but either make or break for him. Well, not make or break, but it's put up or shut up.
All right. How about you, Screw?
I'm gonna say this is Vikings all the way. All they really have to worry about, I think, is the run game.
You're not concerned about Kirk Cousins not coming to play because primetime Kirk is primetime shit?
It's Kirk Cousins. He'll probably if he has a slow start, but then he'll pick it up. It's like how he's playing this year. I think it's his time. I wouldn't mind seeing the Vikings. I always like trying to see different teams in, and I think how the Vikings are playing this year, their defense is actually back up at how it used to be, and then they actually now have a quarterback. Before they didn't really have much of a quarterback that could throw. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is better than what they had. He's a little better, but I think it bridges enough of the gap. I mean, you look at, even like the Buccaneers when they won it back in 2001 when they had Brad Johnson.
2002.
2002, yeah, Brad Johnson. He was a decent quarterback. I wouldn't put him at all saying he was the best in the league at that time, but defenses help win games, and all Kirk Cousins has to do is give his defense enough time to get a break, put some points up, and the defense can do the rest. And I think that shouldn't be that hard with the Giants. All the defense has to worry about is Barkley. You stop Barkley, you stop the Giants, I think.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to say this, and I've been saying it for the whole season this year. The Vikings' point differential is -3 this season. They have been a very much streaky
hate you.
team this year. What do you mean you hate me? Actually, it's funny because these two teams actually met in the regular season, and the Vikings pulled off a miracle win. They hit the 61-yard field goal to win that game. And Screw, you know how you're saying about the running game.
Miracle win.
Hold on, let me finish. Actually, in that game in Minnesota, nonetheless, and this was also in Minnesota, Daniel Jones actually threw for 42 passes, 30 completions, 334 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception against the Vikings. And they held Barkley to 14 carries and only 84 yards rushing.
Exactly, and they got the win. So that's what I'm saying. You stop Barkley.
But aren't you kind of worried about Jones passing like that?
Oh, they're going to learn from that, and that number's going to drop. Interceptions might go up, but still, right now, this is the best Minnesota defense that I've seen from them, and I'd say in a while. They're looking almost like old Minnesota again with the defense. And
they're not no purple eaters by any means.
No, not that far back. But I'm just saying, in the last decade, back when Harrison Smith, all them were rookies and stuff.
I want to say Jared Allen being their top player was when they in his prime was when they were actually this decent at defense.
Yeah, and so it's good to kind of. I think that's what they've lacked the last couple of years, and I think that's why they've done.
My problem with the Vikings this season is that I don't think they can pull this off against a better team, but I do think the Giants are actually a team that they can beat. However, no. I am going to go with the Giants to win this game. I trust in Barkley to get good runs up the middle and completely destroy this Viking defense's run defense. Now, I'm going to get the stats up real quick. Pi, you were going to say something, though?
No, go ahead.
I'll say this while you get the stats up. I think the only reason why you're picking the Vikings or the Giants is because the Vikings beat the Bills earlier in the year.
That's absolutely not at all why I know Kirk Cousins. I've been doing this for a long time. I know Kirk Cousins.
I wanted to make sure this is true.
Like this, Kirk Cousins is trash. Look at the numbers of him going to a big game.
Okay.
Pull it up, Wolf.
Hold on. I want to talk about this stat, though. Guess who the worst team in the NFL was this season in run defense?
Vikings?
It was the Vikings.
But okay, you say that, but they still stopped Barkley.
How far
Yeah,
behind them?
I'll give you that.
How far
It-
behind them were the Browns?
The Browns, I have to pull it back
Yeah.
up.
Has
It-
to be
it-
close behind.
and you talk about Kirk Cousins in big games. I'm pretty sure any Saints fan would beg to differ on that because how many times did they lose in the playoffs
The
to the Vikings?
Saints are fucking trash right now.
The
No, I'm not saying right now. I'm saying that was back when they were back when Drew Brees was there, back when they actually had
Crusher?
They
a
weren't
team.
even that good when
Yeah.
Drew Brees was there. People
The-
fucking have a skewed opinion
They-
on them being good because Drew Brees was good. Look at
They're
what happens
sixth
when
in
Drew
rushing.
Brees and Sean Payton leaves the team. That team becomes
Wait.
trash.
6th in run defense?
Yes, according to NFL.com.
Like high number 6?
Yeah, high number 6.
NFL.com is strong.
I believe the ones that led the most rushing yards, yeah, was the Texans, but apparently because they didn't run too much against the Browns, they don't really count that, I'm guessing.
Whatever.
Like the Niners are first, and they only allowed like a 13 only 1,300 yards basically. But the Browns
Huh.
allowed like 2,200.
Oh.
Interestingly enough. And plus the Bills are up there. I don't think their run defense is actually that good either. And they're like 4th in the league right now, and I don't think the Bills' run defense is actually that good either. But they play more of a nickel defense. That's kind of why their run defense is kind of lackluster in my opinion. But
Yeah.
2 people taking the Vikings, 2 people taking the Giants. I think we had a good discussion on this game, guys. Let's go on to the next one. So we go on to our next game, which is going to be a primetime game for Sunday Night Football. It's the Baltimore Ravens against the Cincinnati Bengals. Sorry.
Ooh. Ooh.
Potter?
Honestly, I like that the Bengals made a turnaround. I didn't think they would get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the turnaround, as much as Crusher's not going to like me saying this. I love the turnaround for the Bengals, and I feel if they can win this game, they can go all the way to the Super Bowl.
You know, in a surprising response to Potter, I actually do like the turnaround they made. They definitely did a lot better than I expected they would from the beginning of this year.
Agreed, especially with missing Jamar Chase for most of the season.
Yeah.
I kind of am curious about that. How many games did he actually miss? Did Chase miss?
I think a bunch.
Screw. What's your opinion on this game?
That's not much of a game. I mean, the Bengals are going to take it. With I don't know, is Lamar Jackson even going to be back for the Ravens?
So right now is that there's no official update on Lamar Jackson, and honestly, it's all up in the air right now. We don't know if Lamar's playing or not playing, and they're keeping it very hush hush right now.
Yeah, I think that would be the only saving grace that the Ravens possibly could have is if he's there. If not, there's no other. That seems like I'm able to do anything.
If it helps you, he still hasn't shown up for practice yet.
Yeah, I just don't see.
I will give the Ravens somewhat credit because last time, Week 18, when they were playing the Bengals, and the game was a must-win game for the Bengals to win the division, and I believe it limited the coin toss, because if they lost that game, it would be a coin toss depending who's going home and who's going away in this game. The Bengals didn't do so hot really against the Ravens defense. There was like 4 turnovers in the game by the Bengals offense, which is very shocking that the the Ravens 4 turnover. Oh, it was by the Bengals defense. I'm sorry, I must have heard what I was hearing on the radio then. Yeah, continue then. I don't see the Ravens having much of a chance against the Bengals, honestly. Joe Burrow's looking amazing right now. The offense is clicking. The whole thing right now is at the start of the season, they just weren't clicking offensively on the first few games of the season. That's what really cost them a lot of games. But after they got past that Browns game, I want to say, when the Browns beat them, they just went from there and just kept on chugging and winning games 24/7. And it shows because they're right now in the 3rd seed of the AFC. So I think Joe Burrow and the Bengals are easily going to win this game against the Ravens, even if it is Lamar Jackson under center. And I do think that Lamar Jackson is a factor in this game, and it keeps it more close than it actually is. But the Bengals should have no problem dealing with the Ravens if it's not Lamar Jackson under center. Do we all agree?
Yeah, and in a way, I don't even think it really matters too much if they are.
I don't really think it does either.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
As much
I
as I
mean-
would like to see the Baltimore Browns, you know,
I mean, it could because was that week 5 they met and Baltimore did pull off the win.
I wonder
was
how
with
many people
Lamar.
are going to get my joke.
Was
Yeah,
that-
we get your joke.
Yeah, that
No,
was
I wonder how many other people are going to.
I told him about that last week.
But that was with Chase as well. So I mean, I don't know, but you know, like you said, Cincinnati they started off not clicking, but they're clicking now, and so I think with the week 5 matchup you can't really count that in on it because I don't think they were fully clicking then.
No,
So
they weren't.
Yeah, so it's not even the same team going out
But
there
I
against
also
them.
will say this is that without Lamar Jackson on the field, you can like consider Week 18 being a possibility. But if Lamar's on the field, you can't really count Week 18 for the Ravens either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that one I'm not. I mean, because if you look at it, what
And I
Well,
honestly will say this: it's a benefit of the doubt for the Bengals to actually lose that Week 5 game because, like we said earlier, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row in the play in the NFL. So take that as you will as well. We're all taking the Bengals though, right?
Yes, sir.
We're shipping the Ravens out. Go find out what happens to Lamar. Let's go to the next game, and it's a Monday Night Football game because we can't have this shit on Saturday. Because apparently these two teams are too better for Saturday Night Football. We need Monday Night Football for this game, and this is going to be the game that ends Wild Card Weekend. Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Give me the Cowboys. As much as it
I'm gonna
pains
go
me
ahead
to say
and-
it,
I really, really want the Cowboys to just destroy Tampa Bay because I do not want to see. I want Tom Brady to cry and go home like Aaron Rodgers.
All right,
Yeah.
Screw. What's your opinion?
I don't like the Cowboys, but in that instance, I mean, I am a Commanders fan, and the Cowboys did lose to a 3rd-string quarterback last week. But the other thing you got to look at this year, okay, yes, Buccaneers and Cowboys played week 1. Buccaneers won. But you also look at it, and you go through their schedule. Cowboys hadn't lost 2 weeks in a row. So, how much I would love to see the Cowboys lose. It's going to be. I think it's why they put this game by itself, because like all the other playoff games, could go either way, and they're going to be good games. They put the shit game by itself, and it's like no one wants to see the Cowboys win. No one kind of wants to see the Buccaneers win, but there's going to be a winner, and it's like I'm
I'd
not
like
even
to
gonna
see the Cowboys win.
I
I mean,
I'm not
honestly,
even
this is
gonna say.
nice to see Cowboys winning in December.
I think he meant like the Cowboys winning a play in the Super Bowl is what he meant.
Oh yeah, no,
Like
absolutely not.
he
Fuck
doesn't
that.
want to see either
I'm-
team make the Super Bowl. Is what no people want to see the Cowboys or Bucks make the Super Bowl is what he means. Not that they don't want them to win.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, this.
I want him to vanquish. I want them to vanquish Tom Brady, and that's that.
And then
Th-
lose
this-
to the Eagles.
Yeah, like this is the hardest game to pick because, to me, they're both crap teams.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what Dak Prescott you're going to get this week.
Hell,
Is he going to be?
You don't know which Dak Prescott you're gonna get, and you're also not gonna know what Tom Brady you're gonna get.
Well, exactly. I mean, so it's one of those that it's. I mean, it just really depends on which team shows up. Like this one, I'm gonna say undecisive because I mean, you really don't know. Like, and in the other games, it's like to me, they're more of a clear winner. Now, there may be some variations to change it. This one, to be honest, I'd be okay with the tie.
What happened? No, they can't end in a tie. Actually, they keep
I
playing
know,
until.
but like that's just how much. Like, I think that's why they put it by itself because no one really cares about it. No
Yeah,
one's
it's
probably going to watch it. And
Potter. It's Thursday, and we still got the Cowboys and Buccaneers playing each other. When's this game ever going to end?
I just want it to end.
Man, this is such a tough game for me, and I honestly would just flip a coin and just have it whatever pick, whoever it lands on pick, because I'm not really sold on the Cowboys right now. The way they've been playing, they play really well certain weeks, and they also shit the bed other weeks, like against the Commanders, week 18, in a game they should have easily won. Like Sam Howell's not really that good of a quarterback. I mean, Sam Howell looking like a decent quarterback right now. We haven't really seen him play, but like a third string quarterback should not be destroying your top elite defense like that, right? And then you got the Buccaneers who kind of just sneaked their way into the playoffs. They got in because they have the easiest schedule or the easiest division in the world. And in any other division, they wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. But because they have the NFC South, they got in. So this is kind of a toss-up game, and it all depends on two factors. One, are we going to see the Cowboys choking like they usually do in the playoffs? And two, is it going to be Tom Brady in playoff formation going into this game going forward?
can I say one thing though? I don't know if you guys heard this stat. This is Tom Brady's first losing season
In NFL history.
25 years. 25 years. No. This is even going back to his college career and his high school career. 25 years.
Now, did they have a losing season when he got injured in 2007?
No, because I think when he got hurt like early.
Yeah, he got hurt early. He was like
No.
week 1, but does that still count towards his record?
No, because this is I remember where I read this. I think it was Fox Sports actually, but they said this is his first losing season in 25 years, dating
But
back to
I'm
high
just
school.
curious if they actually had a losing season in 2007 or if they did not. Or am I saying I'm saying 2007? That's the year they went 16-0. Was it 2008 maybe?
Let's see.
Yeah, it was 2008. They went 11-5. So even with him being injured, they didn't have a losing season.
He only played partially in one game, so they didn't.
Yeah, but he still went 11-5 that season. Technically, I guess that's why it counted.
Yep. I think it won that. Was that the year? Was that with Garoppolo when he?
No, that was with
no.
Sam Castle or Matt Castle, whichever one.
Castle.
Yep. I'm just gonna take probably. I want the Cowboys to win. I might just be safe and take the Buccaneers, and then they lose and then they lose probably to. They probably lose to the Eagles next week. It all depends on how the games go. They might actually play against the Niners, which the Niners will beat them too. The Niners and Eagles should both beat the Buccaneers, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's probably what my go-to would be. Is that if they're gonna lose, if the Bucs are gonna lose, it's probably gonna be to the Niners or Eagles, and the Cowboys are probably gonna lose to either the Niners or Eagles if that comes up as well. But I think that is it for our games. Any last thoughts, Potter?
Football. Honestly, I do want to talk about a few things before we go. A lot of teams' seasons are over, and there's a lot of talks going around on what's going to happen. Coaches have been fired. GMs have resigned. And I think that's going to be a whole separate episode. But I can't wait to honestly can't wait to start talking about that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. You guys were talking about, Sean Payton.
Yep.
I think either way, depending on the price, the Saints because you got to look at it's not just Sean Payton talking to the teams. The teams have to talk to the Saints. The
Right,
Saints
because
still own
he's
the
still
rights.
a Saints employee.
Yep. So there's going to be probably at least a first round pick in there trying to make that go down. So they're going to at least get back up in
Can
the
they
first round.
trade first round draft pick for Sean Payton?
Well, I mean,
They're
you
gonna
would
have
think
to
so.
give
I mean,
compensation to get even an interview with him.
Oh
Higher.
yeah, that's
yep,
true.
they would have to give compensation. So that I would think that would be part of it. I mean, because they don't have one that's coming up here because they traded it off to the Eagles, I believe it was.
Didn't the teams that already requested an actual interview have to give compensation to the Saints to even get the interview?
That part I don't know. I haven't. It's the Aints. I don't pay that closely attention. I just know if
Did you call them the Aints?
yes, it's the Aints.
Nice.
So,
Guys gotta love that.
But like I said, it is one of those I know they're going to get compensation, and you are probably thinking probably at least a first round pick, definitely.
You think a first round pick for a head coach?
I mean, it's Sean Payton too. I mean, you look at what he's done. It's probably kind of rocky in the beginning, but he set the team up to move to bring him up to what the Saints from what they were. I mean, that you had people that going out there. I mean, almost like the Browns going out there with bags on their heads, like just embarrassed, and then they brought him up to the respectable team that
Hey,
people in New
don't you
Orleans
talk bad
don't
about the
want.
Browns. Only I can talk bad about the Browns.
Me too.
Browns suck. Okay, and
Actually, carry on.
I'm
Welcome
so
to the
bad.
fan club.
but I mean, he brought him up from being, I'd say almost, I mean, a no team to brought him their first Super Bowl, and look how many playoffs they were in. I mean, I think without Sean Payton, and I don't think you can even say Drew Brees is all of it. I think without Sean Payton, the Saints wouldn't even be what they are, even close to what they are today. They'd still be back in how it was. Because I mean, how many coaches do they go through until they finally found Payton, and that worked out for them?
It's gonna be a very interesting thing to see, really, in the NFL season, and we'll talk more about that when we get to our off-season video. We'll mention it here and there during the playoffs because it is something to mention, but real quickly, like, we want to keep it more towards the playoff games and whatnot because I'm pretty sure there's not gonna be much that much off-season news because I don't really think my thing about the whole coaching, like if you hire during the playoffs, it's kind of a stupid move because you're losing a chance to talk to the coaches that are in the playoffs right now, and you would think they would be actually front runners to make NFL teams head coaches. Like Ken Dorsey, for example, I believe is not able to interview until the playoffs is over for the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, this could be just those teams kind of jump in on the chance because he is out there and has the time, so
That's
they might
true.
just be jumping and get an interview with them. I don't think they're going to come up with a decision yet, like you said, because you still have offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, other people to talk to from other teams. So he's got free time and they're taking advantage of it right now.
Okay, since we have time for, I'm gonna ask you guys this one last question. Do you think Brandon Stanley's actually in the hot seat for the Chargers after making the playoffs? Yes or no?
If they lose, yes.
Crusher? Screw?
Brown suck?
I mean, I think
Yeah, he's not here.
I could definitely say this is I'd say
Oh,
more
wow,
of a disappointing
possibly.
year for him. But yeah, I mean, I think maybe one more year to kind of see and see how it goes from there. If it's another bad year, I think so. Yeah.
All right, that's gonna do it for our predictions for the wild card weekend. Come next week where we do the divisional round, guys. And also for people that might be joining in on doing the brackets, I'm gonna post a video of the brackets. If anyone wants to put their brackets in, I'll put the bracket into the chat below. Crusher, last year when you did the bracket, you didn't know how the actually seating works.
Yeah.
Are you gonna know how the seating works this time around, or am I gonna have to help you with that?
Possibly.
Take care, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you for probably the bracket video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.